But the week ended on a great note. Here we are on a Friday finding out that the American economy is continuing to soar. Turns out the U.S. added 225,000 new jobs in the month of January. So we're off to a great start in 2020, much to the chagrin of the Trump hating machine that is hoping that the economy will tank. Bill Maher over on HBO famously said he wants a recession so that Trump can, get defeated. Wage growth is up. I mean, there is wage growth, I should say. By nature, it's up. Or by definition, it's up. Trump wins in the impeachment arena. We killed a couple of more terrorists. That was announced late last night. And the Democrats still can't figure out whether to scratch their watch or wind their rear ends. Iowa has 100% reporting, and they still don't know who wins. I think Buttigieg won. Bernie says he won. They both sort of won, and they don't know which end is up. It's a debacle. All they can do is clutch their pearls and complain that Trump used the word BS yesterday in his press conference. It's so fascinating to me how people go directly to the opposite of what is true. That's a behavior. That's a trait that confounds me. Poor Joe Walsh, the former radio host and Illinois congressman, announced he's dropping out. Big shocker, he's not going to be president, nor will he be the Republican nominee. In dropping out, I read an article this morning where he said everybody in the Republican Party knows that Donald Trump shouldn't be in the White House. How do you go to the opposite of what is true? How do you play that opposite world game? How do you pretend that the economy isn't great? How do you pretend that Trump doesn't have a 97% approval in the Republican Party? How do you pretend that Trump's press conference yesterday from the East Room wasn't anything but sort of liberating? He was Trump. It was like a weight was off his back. He was at times poignant. He was angry. He was seething at what the country has been dragged through, what his family has been put through. It was vintage Trump, nothing new. Here's an example, cut number 4. I mean, you got Nancy Pelosi, who is so miserable, she's doubling down on ripping up the speech. She's calling Trump sedated and mentally ill and all. Listen to President Trump's description of Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff. Here's cut 4. This is from C-SPAN and Grabian, in case you missed his epic impeachment acquittal celebration yesterday from the White House.
I've always said they're lousy politicians, but they do two things. They're vicious and mean. Vicious. These people are vicious. Adam Schiff is a vicious, horrible person. Nancy Pelosi is a horrible person. And she wanted to impeach a long time ago when she said, I pray for the president. I pray for the president. She doesn't pray. She may pray, but she prays for the opposite. But I doubt she prays at all. And these are vicious people. But they do two things. They stick together. Historically, I'm not talking now. They stick together like glue. That's how they impeached, because they had whatever the number is, 220 people. So if they don't lose anybody, they'll be able to impeach anybody. You could be George Washington. You could have just won the war, and they say, let's get him out of office. And they stuck together, and they're vicious as hell.
Vicious as hell. And of course, the left and the Trump haters will say just the opposite. He's the problem. He's the reason.